One of the most important things in the BRRRR process is finding a home in the right location. We work in the cities in Southern Ontario, Hamilton and Brantford. Within those cities, there are various neighborhoods that are better than others. Now, in a lot of these wealth groups and places where you get coaching for doing your investment, you'll be told to look for homes that are cheap, that nobody really wants, renovate them, and either rent them out or sell them again, and you'll make money. I have a difficulty with that, and here's why. In my process, what I want to do is make sure that I can get the highest rents, the best quality tenants, and I want the added value when I'm finished renovating my house to be high enough that I can pull out most of my renovation and down payment money. Now, in my experience, the only places I can do that are in quality neighborhoods. So that means an A or an A+ neighborhood. That doesn't mean you don't eliminate a B neighborhood. It just means you have to understand that you're not going to get top rents, and it's not going to refi really, really high because you're in a B neighborhood. Now, what are the differences in all these neighborhoods? Well, in a neighborhood, for example, we're building properties, units, where we're asking for the highest rent. So this is not affordable housing. These are folks that either can't afford a down payment yet, but will soon because they're making a good salary, or perhaps they're young executives that don't want to get a house yet and want to rent a nice place for the term. That's an A neighborhood. So those homes are going to be some of the most expensive ones. They're not going to be cheap. They're going to be some of the most expensive ones. However, if the renovation cost is very, very similar to the ones in the B neighborhood, in other words, we're doing similar things, then that cost is fixed. The rents, however, in an A neighborhood, we are often breaking records by asking for higher and higher rents. So there's that. So we want to make sure that your investment cash flows every month, and the best way to do that is to make sure we have incredibly high rents so that you can pay all your payments and your mortgage. Secondly to that is we want the best tenants, and A neighborhoods will give you that. If somebody is willing to pay the highest rent, then they are probably in the category of person you want to get. And I'm not going to judge people, but we do know that in an A neighborhood, when we're charging a lot of money for rent, we're going to attract people that want nice places, and we'll look after it. And then thirdly, when we finish the renovation, we have it all rented out, we want to have the appraiser come in and refinance this house for considerably higher so that we can now pull money out and do it again. The only way we're going to get a really, really high value is to be in an A neighborhood to start with, because the appraiser is going to come in and see what all the other homes are valued at. You've improved your home, so therefore it has to be more expensive and valued at a higher rate. So that's why we always look at A neighborhoods. We have had experience in B and C neighborhoods, but a couple of things come up that you need to know. In those neighborhoods, your requirements for the city are going to be considerably stricter, because usually ceiling heights, pipes coming in, etc., are old and need to be upgraded. That's an expense. Also, your tenant profile is not going to be as good, because people who can afford a slightly lower rent are a different class of people. And that doesn't mean they're bad tenants necessarily, and that's why sometimes a B neighborhood does work, but you're taking a risk. And then, of course, lastly, the refinance value, you're in a B neighborhood, so it's only going to value so high no matter what you do to it. So once again, seriously ask your realtor agent to explain to you why it's important that you get into an A neighborhood, and in some cases pay what you might think is too much for that house initially.